Yo, Doc, that was incredible!
All thanks to the geniuses over at PIM Technologies. Okay. That's a wrap.
Great job, man.
You too.
Which one you and me, though?
Yeah.
That was important.
Oh, it's really, it's pretty easy.
Well, you're right.
I don't know what I can fix this. I can fix this.
Please help me, please.
Hello, everybody.
Testing.
Well, I'm Cole Sanders. This is Miles Ritchie, and we're your resident professional nerds from Crush Comics next door. And if this is your first time joining us, then as we are professional nerds, we like to use this knowledge for something and break down the Marvel movies right after they happen. So,
Absolutely. It's our favorite thing to do.
Miles,
Cole Sanders.
Ant-Man Quantumania, talk to me.
Ant-Man Quantumania. How'd you guys like that little skit that played before it?
That might be our last one. He can't keep turning me into things. It's
I
too
can't.
much for my self-esteem.
I've turned Cole into J. Jonah Jameson. I've turned Cole into Commissioner Gordon. Now MODOK. We're gonna keep it going. Ant-Man. I don't know. I don't want to bum everyone out. I didn't like that at
I'm
all.
not gonna lie, yeah, in the words of, Charlemagne the God, this ain't it, yo. This one might not have been it. I don't know. It was all, I don't know how to feel. It was weird.
What did you think of Jonathan Majors?
I like Jonathan Majors. I don't know what I think about Kang, though, is the problem.
I do not think this Kang was as formidable as I think was advertised.
Here's the thing about Kang. As far as Kang goes in the comics, he's an Avengers level threat, but that scale varies depending on who's writing the book. And Kang isn't necessarily the most scary Avengers villain, right? The bag that he has is that there's multiple of them, and because he's affected so many timelines, you can't really get rid of him, right? It's kind of like an infestation. But they're definitely trying to set up Kang the Conqueror in this as a, let's say, Thanos level threat to the Marvel universe when it comes to the lies he'd be ending throughout the multiverse. And
Even more so, we've seen Kang before. We've seen a Kang. He was He Who Remains, if everyone watched the Loki show. And they made it clear that, like, the Infinity Stones are like paperweights to him. Like, they're really trying to emphasize the bigger villain.
Yeah,
And
that
there's
he's
million
a cut
of them.
above, right?
Yeah.
But he just lost a one-on-one fight with Ant-Man.
I know Creed 3 just lost that fight with Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I guess he's in the Falcon camp,
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it's just a big checklist in my brain, so I'm just gonna start throwing things out.
Go for it.
Michael Douglas, but Hank Pym is Ant-Man. That is the Ant-Man. I do not.
Michael Douglas is having the time of his life. He's like, we're making another one of these.
Put my arm in the jelly. Put my arm in the jelly, Scott.
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of, Quantumania feels like they're definitely trying to take us into a different world. What they tried to do a couple times with Guardians of the Galaxy, or when we get into the more cosmic stuff. But I just feel like we've seen the components that made up the quantum realm before, you know?
I think I've seen as far as human imaginations and CG can push new concepts and new worlds. I feel a little desensitized, which is a bummer.
Well, it feels like some things were kind of on brand for what they were trying to go for, like, you know, the ships made out of cells or the things that look more like microbes. But then you just got guys that look like they wandered off the set of Vikings, you know?
Dude, yeah, just you got Bill Murray in there.
But, you know, I feel like I've seen the kind of alive ship that you got to stick your hand into the gooey ports. I feel like I've seen this kind of color palette, you know, washed orange deserts, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
100%.
I don't know. I feel like the Marvel Universe has so much great imagery to draw from when you've got, you know, cosmic side is usually people lean into the Jack Kirby influence, but
at least,
I don't know if that's what they need to do. Or...
At least visually, I think that would help. Do we need to tell anyone here who Jack Kirby is? For those watching at home, just the king.
Good artist, very good artist. Draw good superheroes, very good.
You see a lot of his influence. I feel like who the designers, the set dressers on projects like Ragnarok really lean into him, and I think I think they need to do it more. It would have helped. There felt like there was no cohesive aesthetic. I think the quantum realm was so abstract for the people working on this movie that they kind of just chalked it up to it can look like anything. Just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Broccoli dudes, spaceships that don't look like the other spaceships, buildings with little floopy arms. The buildings just kind of look like big MODOKs.
Yeah, I was.
You want to talk about MODOK?
Actually, I think surprisingly, MODOK was the best part of the movie. It was hard to look at like his Humpty Dumpty situation when he flipped up that lid. But I mean, that's whenever you see MODOK in a comic book, you just kind of open the page, you laugh because he looks like that and he's shooting lasers out of his head. So
yeah, that's the thing too. There was like no winning in that design. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Minus a little. He usually has a bowl cut on his head. For the people at
true to Darren.
home, who were those last couple Kangs? Because they have names.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was at least a little bit of an interesting setup.
Yeah. So in the post-credit scene, we're seeing a council of Kangs, and I think the only one I didn't know was that first one that was in the sleek silver metal suit. It kind of looks like Iron Lad compared to all the Kangs
lightning one with no eyebrows. He credited as Robot Kang. I think that would have just fit in it. Yeah.
I mean, Robot Kang, Iron Lad, close enough. Yeah. Iron Lad is a version of Kang in the comics that was a younger version, wanted to escape that life, trying to go be a young Avenger. Didn't work out though. But then, yeah, the other two Kangs were definitely Rama Tut. When Kang first went to the past, he in ancient Egypt and uses technology to become a kind of god pharaoh amongst them, which works a lot better when Jonathan Majors is black. So
yes, 100%.
Gotta worry about that.
Kang is a white dude.
And then we had Immortus. Who was that one with the big medallion? Kind of looked like
cool voice, cool design. I dug it.
What's that villain from that Kung Fu movie, man?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Big Trouble in Little China, 100% with the headpiece.
Yeah, I felt some. But that was an interesting scene too, because I was kind of curious to see what we were gonna get out of different Kangs, because this was. I feel like what I liked about Jonathan Major's performance in this is you could see how the Kang we saw in this could offshoot into the He Who Remains we saw in Loki. You know, different personalities, but I could still see how those could be different aspects of the same person. Immortus just seemed like a different dude.
I saw that 3 of them were very serious, and then 90% of them were super just hype, so hype,
going nuts.
I don't know why they were. Just because they were all there in the same time.
Because they're gonna
gang it up.
Yeah, they're gonna jump out of portals and be like, boom.
Jumping back to that Iron Lad thing, I can seriously see that being something they, we're gonna get to an Avengers movie at some point. I'm sure Kang will be it's called the Kang Dynasty is the next Avengers movie.
And we've been getting a lot of young Avengers setups, which Iron Lad is
Cassie Lang, Wanda's children, kinda. A Hulkling may be coming. A lot of kids. Everyone has a kid right now. Thor has a daughter.
To be fair, Scott Lang always had a kid, but now she does flips.
Scott Lang has a daughter. By the way, his 3 best friends' ex-wife and her husband are not in this movie, and it's very distracting to me. We did lose a
lot of the supporting cast that kind of.
Except David. I do not know how to pronounce his last name. David Dash.
This part you do alone.
All right. One of his con men, the Baba Yaga one. He was the voice of the hole guy, the guy with no holes. So he got to be in the movie still. I would have preferred to just.
That guy got his holes.
That guy got his holes.
Yeah, I don't know. There weren't really even, very many comic book references, which is fine.
I was hoping, for his sake, actually, that they would sneak in one Micronaut. There's a group of people in the Marvel Comics called the Micronauts that exist. Basically what these people were supposed to be, the freedom fighters, but Hasbro, the toy company, actually owns the rights, and they couldn't do it, but I thought they would just sneak one in something.
Yeah, that actually messes up a lot of cool characters we could see. I know James Gunn wanted to bring in Bug, who's also got ties to Micronauts into Guardians of the Galaxy. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe, and the Micronauts are a really colorful, cool cast of characters that I feel like if they could have put them in, it wouldn't have felt just like,
they would have stood out. They would have been weird, generic broccoli head. They have like really cool, distinct features.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at, I don't know, Kirby, Blob, Whole Man, I just see Meek. And when I'm looking at big, laser-faced man, I see Korn. But I don't know. It seems like a little bit of palette swaps. Even the lady with the cool staff, who I do not know the name of.
They gave her every
reminds me of
generic
Valkyrie.
action line you could say. We have to rally them. We have to get out of here. My people. Like, it's just like...
Were you having
I
the
can't...
Solo Star Wars story flashbacks with the Revolution droids?
I had a lot of flashbacks to things. A lot of them were to Love and Thunder.
But usually we like to open it up for if anybody's got comic-related questions, or you guys could boo us and we could just run off the stage.
Yeah, this one was kind of a bummer. I'm sorry we didn't like it more.
What
hands in the audience? Sweet. Oh, no. Go for it.
Yeah.
So, any theories on the tie-in on the end of Loki and how that, how that relates back into this? How are they going to connect? Just some theories.
Right. What?
I can go there. I can go there.
Is that?
So the season finale of Loki is that the Kang that outlasted all of time perished. Sorry, it's a year old. Spoilers. And Loki goes back to the TVA he thinks he knows, but everyone who he met along the way has forgotten him. So I'm gonna assume we will get some in-betweening of there's a Mobius that remembers him now, or is traveling again with him, and I think Loki's probably season 2 might be about tracking down the first one, and that Victor Timely right there might have been the first one. Maybe it's about stopping him from inventing time travel altogether.
Yeah, in the comics he is from the far future, kind of in the down the line in a certain famous superhero's genetic pool. I don't want to spoil that in case they want to keep going.
They might go there.
But my theory would be that they're probably going to try to move the goalposts a little bit. Maybe he started out in the past and gotten out into the time stream, and then was able to acquire the technology that allows him to be more Kang the Conqueror. I hope that we can find out why this Kang was so naughty. Why we had to put this guy outside of space and time.
Because he didn't agree with the other Kangs. Get thrown in Kang jail.
Yeah.
They need to destroy the quantum realm. I think it's starting. Because it was like the big crux of why Endgame was able to happen. It's a jail that can hold even the strongest beings in the universe. I actually think they should somehow throw it away. So they can stop kind of relying on it.
I feel like we're never going to see it again unless they need a MacGuffin.
Okay,
I don't think we're ever going back down there.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know. Yeah, somebody needs to do some timey-limey shenanigans.
I don't think Thanos would have won the first time if we had the ants.
Oh yeah, imagine being Big Bad Conqueror. Super Troop
that's
fan,
what I had to
beat
think
by
about.
ants.
I think they forgot a lot of things. Why is Ant-Man's helmet necessary anymore? He clearly shrinks and grows as many times as he wants without the helmet, and that's very distracting to me, because I feel like it's so clear in movies like Civil War that if it's not on, the particles wouldn't coat him and it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they forgot their own tech a little. And when Janet destroys the battery, she uses the growing particles, and that would have been roughly she disappeared in the 60s. They didn't have that yet. They were just starting to test on Goliath. Why did she have blue ones? I don't know, man. They're getting sloppy. They're getting sloppy.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where we're gonna be going from this. I think we're gonna have a lot of Kangs dogpiling on each other.
So many. It's gonna be the Ant-Man scene, but Kangs.
But Kangs, yeah.
And that was a little mind-numbing to me. So I hope there's more. Yeah.
One comic book thing, the Ant family like to switch costumes a lot. Jan Van Dyne is a fashion designer, I believe, so she's gone through a number of costumes. Hank Pym has been Ant-Man, Goliath, Yellow Jacket, all across the board. And Cassie has been Stature and Stinger.
Stinger.
And she looked more like Stinger in this one.
She was Stinger in
purple.
this one until she was Stature.
And yeah, then she got big, and I think that was supposed to be her stature bump.
Yeah. It was okay.
That's
Any
all,
more
folks.
questions? That's all. This was an okay movie.
Yeah.
Josh Hunter.
Janet is like, hey, we shouldn't go into the quantum realm, but like in the end of Ant-Man 2, they sent Ant-Man into the quantum realm, and that's where he got trapped.
Oh. For those who can't hear at home.
That's a good
Dude, they're
point.
forgetting their own scripts. Thank you for reminding me. At the end of Ant-Man 2, they utilize the quantum realm to go in there and get atoms, or, energy to heal Ghost, which is a
Ghost,
whole nother
right.
problem. So Michelle Pfeiffer didn't mind too much then. Maybe it's a level of depth. Maybe the energy's just on the surface.
She forgot, man.
She just forgot.
Yeah, I don't know, but that is a good point. He wasn't that scary. They beat him in an
They
afternoon.
spent 1 hour saying him.
Oh yeah, take a
Him.
shot every time they say him, and you
And
will
then they
see
jump
God.
to this scene and him. And
Yeah.
then the freedom fighters are talking about, oh, he knows you're here. A lot of he, man.
Like,
I will take a question right now.
What if there was like a version of Kane that was Ant-Man?
I think that'd be
I
cool
would
to see
see that.
Kang
Yeah.
variants that had like acquired some of the Avengers' powers or their tech. I'd love to see something like that.
I actually think that'd be really cool
Yeah.
if a bunch of kings pulled up and in each respective universe they chose an Avenger to kind of just take the stuff off.
or if he just kind of super scrolled, right? Like I would have, I think I would have been a lot more hype when he got out there if he pulled a little shrink grow or I don't
Yeah.
know what else could he copy.
There
A
has to
repulsor
be
or something. I don't know.
in the multiverse, because infinite possibilities. There's got to be one worthy Kang. There's got to be one Kang throwing Mjolnir.
That would be sick, but probably not. He's a pretty bad dude.
They're all pretty bad.
he's definitely on the naughty list.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Fantastic Four were the first ones to take on Kang?
The first time Kang appeared, I believe, was Avengers. Avengers
Avengers,
6? Around there. But he does have ties to the Fantastic Four. He's kind of like Doctor Doom or Magneto, where he's kind of made his rounds around the universe. He's always looking for something, and somebody's gonna get knocked in the head.
Oh, I was getting heavy Magneto vibes when he was floating around on his little disc. That's a very Magneto move.
Kang wishes he could be Eric Magnus.
I hope they do.
But
it right.
Jonathan Majors did do a great job. Just even the way the costume looked great, but
Oh yeah, look cool.
just the way he looked like coming out of the costume, I believed he was a conqueror
Yeah.
until he lost
They,
to Ant-Man.
props to Jonathan Majors for securing the single biggest bag in Hollywood, which is playing a character that will never, always be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You'll
a-
never
that's
run out of
magic.
roles. Never, dude. There's not enough wigs in Hollywood to make as many of this man as there's gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, Kang Dynasty is probably going to be. This is going to be his bag.
Super lots of him. I think we're gonna see a very dramatically larger version of the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because although they called it the Multiverse of Madness, there's like 4 of them. Wasn't a lot of madness, like 4 universes.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a lot, and I think that's what I think it's just gonna be a lot of Kangs running into each other.
Well, I'm curious if we're going to see with all this talk of incursions. It seems like a logical thing to do is keep mashing. Taking Fox properties, Sony properties, trying to put those together, which would also be
100%.
interesting.
Yeah. Again, Multiverse of Madness, No Way Home. I think there's a lot of that on the horizon. Get ready for. They can do anything. Get ready for Ben Affleck Daredevils. Get ready for Nick Cage Ghost Riders. They literally might just do it all. In
I
one,
hope so.
One big Secret Wars movie. I've heard Ian McKellen's schedule just freed up. They were talking about that recently. We're gonna see a lot of
Yes,
Logan. Everyone.
yes, sir.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
How do you think that super ant civilization might tie into later?
Man, that super ant civilization was nuts. I think I blinked too hard, and I felt like I went to another timeline. I hope they come back. They were pretty useful. They beat Kang the Conqueror.
I think there should, next movie, whatever it is, they should just imply that they put those to really good use. Like, ants should just be the new, like, Earth standard for, like, maybe building. They should just build civilizations. Maybe ants
But maybe
can
they
build
don't want to
Krakoa.
build us civilizations, man. I think we should let Hank talk to the ants, and then they can tell Hank what they want to do. Like Like beat King the Conqueror.
Like beat King. Ants beat King, by the way. Ant-Man did not beat King the Conqueror, and nor did the Wasp. Ants beat
He
King.
punched him precisely 2 times. I'm sure that hurt him. I'm sure that hurt him.
I saw a hand go up. Did it go back down? It's okay if you don't. Okay. Anyone else? I've been Miles Ritchie. Oh no, one more. What's up?
Which game do you guys think is going to win in the Create Battle World?
Now that's what I want to get to. I wish we could kind of cut to the chase, because I know a lot of fillers coming.
King got one to win is Ramatut because he has the most drip, as we all saw. You know, he came decked out to sit on that throne. But yeah, definitely not this guy.
I wonder how many people thought this was going to be the definitive King. Because I'm going to write
Was
this
he
off.
not?
No, like
he just lost, like for real.
I'm going to write that off as death. I think there's a bigger King. There's a bigger King.
I just hope he's physically larger. It's like he's scaled up a little
Bigger
bit.
King,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or does he turn into the new Modok? Because he kind of.
Oh my
Kind
God.
of like went away like.
Jonathan
I
Majors.
think
head.
yeah, let's give him another role. I think that would be pretty cool. Modok Part 2.
MODOK Part 2. I love that they spelled out his name too. They said this is a mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah, they couldn't help calling him Modok.
MODOK, yeah. There was one really funny line at the very end of it. Someone like looked at the camera and just said something. I can't remember. Does anyone remember? I don't know. Michael Douglas
know,
turned to
man.
the camera and he just exclaimed, "Ants." I don't know.
He basically did. Every time he
basically
looked at
did.
the camera, he was like, "Ants,
Ants.
Scott, the ants." I've been telling you.
Do you guys remember how they promoted Ant-Man 1 with just ham boning and saying ants, ants? That's
Yeah, they come a long way from just, like Anthony flying around to like Deus Ex Machina. Like they just came out of nowhere.
yeah, man. This is a weird movie, y'all.
So, Phase 5, baby.
Phase 5, baby.
Woo!
We're here. Woo.
let's get it going.
We're gonna do more of these. And yeah. All right. Guys, shop and support your local comic book stores.
And your local theaters.
Darn right. Buy snacks, buy
We
comics.
don't
buy
know what we're
snacks and
talking
comics.
about, by the way. You should see this movie at least 3 more times, maybe. Yeah, right here at Chabot Cinema. I don't know
Yeah,
why
what
they
do
gave
we
us
know?
these mics, but yeah. Don't listen
You
to
might
us.
love this the 4th time. Come see it here at the Chabot.
But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Grow up. Learn how to grow. Everybody gets bigger. What did he say? What's this? Everybody gets bigger, baby.
Look out for the little guy.
Look out for the little guy. That's it.